So now moving very quickly on to item 11, the Capital Project Performance Report. And Richard, thank you for joining us. Again, in the interest of speed, really just any headline comments, and then we'll move straight to questions.
Great, thanks Andrew. Obviously, as we've just heard from Peter, we've had a good, strong first half of the year. This report is through to December. We're obviously highlighting that while currently we're forecasting to the end of the year 90% in this report, I do want to say that the effects and the risks that have been flagged up until now are really starting to bite, and we'll have a more up-to-date report to you next month as to how things are looking, but I would expect things to drop quite significantly. There's various pressures on the capital program. The ones, or a very quick way to look at the pressures and the ones that aren't delivering, I always look at page 311, which is the major carry forward projects. So I'd like to just draw your attention to that. It's a easy way to see some of the big numbers that are pushing that non-delivery, that top area of our capital program. Obviously, we're putting lots of work in trying to substitute projects and accelerate projects to fill our capital program and ensure that we're striving to deliver everything we possibly can this financial year in spite of the pressures that are against us. But as we can see with COVID, there's an awful lot of uncertainty. That uncertainty goes out into our delivery teams, contractors and the like. There's already effects. There was a ceiling project in St Albans where one member of the crew came down with COVID-19 and the whole lot have gone into isolation. So questions were received from elected members on that one. More work's going in, as again you heard from Peter, into defining our program for next year, getting that initiated, getting that ready. That's about planning for success, and we're even going a step further. I think the word only 60% of our 23-24 program is defined. I'd rather see that as quite an amazing achievement that we're even looking that far ahead. That's a great result to this point, and we're going to see if we can get that fully defined and initiated, so we've got a really good pipeline of work coming through. There's a comment there about the Tier 3 restructure and just a few of the name changes of delivery teams that flow through, but they should be fairly straightforward. And also just wanted to highlight that we're preparing the change request visibility and delegation paper, hopefully to come to the next meeting of this FMP that you will know about as well. So happy to take questions, but obviously acknowledge the time pressure. Andrew.
Indeed,
well.
Thank you very much. So moving to any questions on this report. Sam.
Thanks very much, Richard. And just one quick one. It was around the Three Waters as well, around the delivery of it. And so it looks like we're at 38% for the year, for the half year.
Yeah, that's right.
But the thing that struck me was around the resourcing issues around getting in the technical staff to deliver the work.
That's right.
And I just wondered, and I don't know if Helen's here.
That's right. I was looking around for Helen.
Okay, well, it's just around. So there's obviously two things with that. Have we got enough technical staff to deliver the government money on Three Water that we signed up to? And how are we managing the resourcing to ensure we can actually deliver? Because it'll obviously feed into the annual plan conversation this afternoon.
Just on the external funding, so we are moving our projects around to make sure that we maximise the use of that. So at this stage, we're on track to spend it all. We're very mindful that it finishes at the end of June. So where we can't resource or where we've got some supply chain issues, we're just substituting projects to maximise that spend. Just on the resourcing, it is really challenging. So not only is there a shortage of expertise in the market, and we are actively recruiting for a number of positions at the moment, our team is also having to respond to the transition pressures as well as delivering BAU and our extended capital program. So we're keeping as close an eye on that as we can. At this stage, I'm really impressed actually with what the team has managed to do for the year to date. We won't be 100%, but we'll be closer than we probably have in previous years, which is actually pretty amazing. So definitely pressures, and the Helen's very much on top of that.
So just on that, I mean, probably the only thing I'm keen to understand is that external funding. We're confident we will spend a lot, so that we're not getting back. Yeah. So at what point? So if we're in February now, if we looked like we weren't going to be able to deliver it, at what point would you let us know?
Probably next meeting, actually, if not before. So we could actually get Teresa to give you a bit of a briefing on where we're up to. And what
Even
we're
just
doing.
like a one pager or something.
Memo?
Yeah,
Yep,
just
okay.
something to just give us confidence that it will be used. Yep. Cool. Thank you. Thanks, Andrew.
All right, thank you. Pauline and then Jimmy.
Well,
Pauline.
just a supplementary there for Jane. That with the transition team's request for the information, are they paying us for that? Are they resourcing us for that?
Not at this stage, but there will be funding when the request and the workload, well, we're expecting that there will be some more funding available. I don't know, Rich, if you know any more details. My understanding is they're not funding us for that.
Can we please get some information on that? Because they should be. And most other councils are refusing to supply that information until they are funded for it. And as you've just said, it's a big chunk of our time and impacting on our Three Waters delivery and our core business. And the other question is, there's another tranche of funding due for Three Waters. When is that?
That's for July, so that's the next financial year.
That's 500 million or so across New Zealand, I think, isn't it?
Yeah,
So-
we'll include that in the memo for you, so we'll let you know.
Are we intending to recoup our costs out of that at this stage?
I'm not too sure if we can, but if we can, we will be looking to do that.
'Cause
All
I'd
right, if
rather
we can
just
get a
have-
memo outside of this meeting that covers all of that off, that would be great. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, so I've got Jimmy, Sarah, and Mike. Jimmy.
Thank you, Chair. Two questions. On page 307, regarding to the High Craven, this section of major cycle route, the South Express, the delivery date will be in December 22 this year. But I just want to know whether, because some of the trees have been removed along the Buchanan Road, but based on the staff, the attachment, those blueprint, also cover new trees will be the replant because all the 7 trees have been removed, but new tree 14, on those 2 pages. I just want to know when this section has been completed, delivered, whether those 14 new trees at the same time will be replanted.
Councillor, you sent that query through to us late yesterday, and the staff haven't had a chance to respond yet, so they will respond outside of this meeting, because you did ask us yesterday, and we will get back to you.
Last Tuesday, I asked the staff, the mention based on tree quality, would like
That
to
rep-
replant, but time frame, I just
So
want to confirm.
that report did go through your community board, and the staff will respond, and if necessary, we'll send it round to the whole committee so that you'll get that response.
Yeah. Okay, thank
We'll
you.
get the OCE to do that.
Yeah. And second question is the page 312, the Horseway Junction Road, the extension. My questions because this will be the commence in the first half of this year, but whether the long kind of the issue, particularly regarding to the TV rail, cross the rail, the safety, the program and design, whether has been presented to the officer or still not yet.
Staff is still working to this time frame. We are still working through information with Kiwi Rail.
But this schedule is cover this.
This is the schedule that we're working to right at this point in time, up to the end of December, and we are still looking to. If it changes, we will come back to you when we know and have detail.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. So I've got Sarah, Mike, and then Yanni. Sarah.
Hi, Lenny. Just a quick question on Rapanui Shag Rock.
Yep.
I've got quite a few people asking when that last bit through Charlesworth is going to be hooked up to the bridge, and I note in here that it's got tenders have closed.
Yep.
And submissions are being assessed ahead of starting on site in February. We're in February now, so I'm just wondering if submissions have been closed. If we could just get maybe an update.
Yes,
On some
we can
timing.
provide you an update.
And is that last section actually going to set all the way to the bridge, or just to Tidal View?
And that's through Tidal View.
Yeah, all the way to the bridge. Oh, thanks. But we're expecting to start imminently?
Late February, early March, yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
the tenders have been cleared off. We just need to finalise the start date with contractors.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you. Mike.
Thank you. Not you, Lynette.
Okay, thank you. Not yet.
Just on page 345 of the agenda in the capital watch list, Te Kaha, it has the current approved budget and the forecast budget at 521.8 million, with the budget status as green on track. Look, I note in the Council's Newsline October 2021 article that the budget was updated to 533 million. So I'm just wondering when our watch list is going to be, I guess, updated to reflect that, and whether actually this should be green on track or whether it should be amber.
Yep. I'll just introduce this one. Just the report that you see in front of you now is through to December. So first of all, that's the first point. Second point is that 320 is for the Te Kaha project itself, and there's a $10 million site decontamination project as well, which brings you up to approximately that 533 figure.
And the difference is there's also a budget for the governance. So 533 is the correct figure. It's split over three
over three items. Yeah. Coming back to your point on the statuses, we could well see that financial status change, but you will note that the risk status is red. It's a high risk project.
Thank you. Yanni.
Thank you. Just thanks for the report. Just on page, sorry, having problems finding the page number. 332. You've got the wastewater Edmonds, Randolph, Markhoff, Manning, Wildberry, Hopkins Ferry in Okiova, mains renewal, and I note that it looks like the timeframes have changed. I'm just wondering if we've got projects that are sort of halfway through that are now being delayed, and what the kind of communication methodology is around letting the local community know. I'm just starting to get residents quite frustrated with the disruption, and I just wanted to ensure that we've got good communications going out, and if you've got an estimated date for that work being complete, where the projects have already started.
Yeah, that's right. And I guess that's where it comes back to my opening comments that we will see issues like this. So this is not possibly reflected in terms of COVID claims coming through in terms of extended costs, but we're seeing situations where there could be delays with projects that are currently on site, and obviously resident dissatisfaction with that. So I can come back to you with our process for informing residents and follow up with you on that.
Yeah, I think that would be good, but I guess the question that we asked at the last meeting was, should we be starting some of these projects if we don't have a guarantee that they can be complete?
Again, it's about managing that risk with a project, and obviously we're in a relatively uncertain time as we come into this year. I don't think that anybody could see an advantage in perhaps stopping some of these projects from even starting when we're trying to, in fact, accelerate the delivery program to ensure that we deliver on some of these things and keep our capital program rolling. I think it's important that we keep up the head of steam that we've got, and I think it's important that we keep delivering for the communities, accepting that there needs to be clear communication where there are delays, where this is perhaps an example of that.
Right, but what I'm trying to understand, like when we let the contract,
yeah,
and the start work notice goes out, are we getting sufficient guarantee from the contractor that they have the materials required to complete the project?
I'd have to follow up on that particular point.
Right, okay.
That's a good point.
We had an example with Ferrymaid many years ago where something got stuck at sea and what turned into,
All right, so we're going to get a follow up on that, Yanni. That's fine. Thank you. Anything further?
Yeah. And I was just going to ask about the there's kind of reference to excess water charges, and I'm not quite sure, is that a cost or an income that we're expecting? And I guess I'm just concerned that we still don't have the ability to read, like we've got that new app, but we don't not everyone seems to be able to get their water readings still.
Yeah, so that question's got several parts. I think the project that you're referring to is the IT project, the excess water billing project. So that is about setting in place the IT and digital requirements to enable the excess water billing to go ahead. So that project has gone through an elaboration and detailed investigation, and so now it's is basically being accelerated because that needs to be in place as soon as possible before the beginning of the year, so that we can get those initial readings and enable the functionality that we need to do the excess water. So that's the IT project that you're referring to. There's obviously the ongoing issue of water meters and ensuring that the data that we have is as complete as possible. And I think that the publication of the app on the website has enabled people to have visibility. But anything further than that, I'd have to take that question back to, because we don't have Helen here. I don't know whether, Jane, you want to have any more comments on that?
Just because I guess the concern is that we get to the 1st of July and people still can't get their readings. And so effectively we'll be charging people who have no idea about what their water use is and what their excess charges may be. What sort of risk is around that not being done in time? Because I did get told last year in part of the LTP that people would be able to get their readings already.
So
and obviously that's not happening.
The readings that are available are publicly available on the website right now, so anybody can check their address and see whether a reading is available. Obviously, if there's no reading available, it means that there's still they're either a joint property or there's no reading available. But beyond that, I'd have to come back to you with that detailed question on water meter charging.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Nothing further? All right, so I'm happy to move that we receive the report. Somebody to second. Jimmy will second. Is there any discussion? All those in favour say aye. Against? Aye. That's carried.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, so now